I know.
I tell you, bro, these ring stats is why it help you. Well, it help you use my desk at all.
I know.
Hi, Carrie. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, this is Kenny.
Hi, how are you?
I can see you. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No, I'm trying to get you off my phone. Hear my earbuds. Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can.
Okay, good.
On my phone, not my earbuds though. Hold on, I'm gonna keep trying. Okay, can you hear me now on the earbuds?
I can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. All right, Carrie, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you crystal clear now.
Oh,
Perfect.
good.
All right, I'm in. I'm going to mute. Okay. I'm
Okay.
in the airport trying to get out of here. So.
Oh, good
All
for
right.
you.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Okay.
Just to let you know, Paul's gonna walk in here, you have to lock that door this way, starting with the screen on. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you good? Call me if you need me.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey, Rick.
Michael.
How are you? Hey, Kenny.
Good, good. Hey,
All right. Looks like we got everybody here. Let's see. All right. Well, we're right on the dot. So we got 4:30. Just real quick, just got to make a quick announcement. So I'd like to call to order the Zoom meeting for the License Commission for the City of Gardner on March 9th at 4:30. Just want to make a note that the commission consists of 3 members. Quorum of 2 members are needed for a motion. The ruling for the section 14, which is a 1-day license, lie with the local commission. Local rulings on violations can be appealed to the ABCC within 5 days of receiving the written decision. So we'll follow up right now. We got a fairly light agenda again today. How's it going, Nick? Real quick.
Good.
Good. First on the agenda, we have some seasonal license discussions. Carrie, we talked earlier. I know there's a couple seasonal licenses out there right now,
Yes,
or interested parties.
Yep.
Have they forwarded any information off to you yet?
they have not.
Okay, and do you know, just off the bat, I think it was the Lit Club
Yeah.
and what was the other one?
Ale House.
Oh, an ale house, okay. I think the ale house, though, we can talk about them when it comes down to the liquor license question on the next agenda.
Yeah.
I mean, on the next bullet point.
Yes.
But the Lit Club, so the deadline, everybody, to get these seasonal licenses in is March 15th, correct? Or 16th, but we want to get them in by the 15th.
Right.
So they're pressed for time. And I had a conversation, everybody, with Carrie, and I've spoken to Rick about this too. It's not our job to handhold these businesses. If they don't get their stuff in on time, then there's really nothing we can do about it. Nancy, you're kind of a senior member, but you know that this has happened to us in the past.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everybody wants an extension. They want to try to get them in as soon as possible, even past the due dates. But right now, with COVID, these seasonal licenses right now, I think a lot of them aren't doing them, or they're just not sure because of COVID, because they don't know if they can, how many people they can have, or what's going to happen with the COVID situation. But that's just my personal opinion on it. Does anybody want to make a comment on the seasonal licenses? We really have nothing to make a motion or approve on this evening. No? Okay. So we'll move on to the next bullet point. So we have the acceptance of the meeting minutes for December. Carrie, thanks for catching those up. Rick, you gave her some nice pointers. She's didn't have to write a book. So if you had a chance, you guys want to make a motion on accepting those minutes?
All right, I move to accept the minutes of the December meeting.
Okay.
I second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, meeting minutes are approved. I know we still got to do a little bit of catch up on the other ones, but since our meetings have only been like 10, 15 minutes, they really probably shouldn't take that long to bang those out. So next is the Gardner Ale House liquor license question. So just a little feedback on this. Carrie, you want to they're looking to do a seasonal, or they requested a seasonal for their deck, but I think they received an extension of premises a few years back.
Okay. We
on
weren't
their
sure
deck.
on.
Yeah, so they did an extension of premises. It was approved through the ABCC, and that was back when they actually physically put the deck on. Nick, has that ever been an issue for you guys, that deck?
No, we've never had any issues with it.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
they don't have to do a seasonal because it's part of their extension of their premises right now. What came into question was the seasonal licenses that they were doing was for Oktoberfest. They had to do a seasonal license, and then they had another festival. I think it was what was it? Nancy, didn't Rick do some sort of like a brew crew where a bunch of brewers assembled under their deck?
Yeah,
It was something like
yes,
that. And
yeah.
I think we requested him to do some sort of like seasonal or one-day licenses for those.
I think it was a one-day license.
One day, okay. So we haven't seen any of those requests come through yet. But that's why I think where we stand with them. Yeah, go ahead, Rick.
Certainly a question. It's just that we had received in the renewal packet for seasonals, one for Ale House, and that's kind of what confused me. And I asked Rick about if that was for the deck, and he said no, he had already done it. What did they renew last year?
So the seasonal, what they renewed last year was, well, I don't know what he did last year because it would have just been Oktoberfest and we didn't, I mean, not even for a seasonal. I don't know what their seasonal would be because he's always done one days. He's never done the seasonals.
That's just what confused me on that.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of stuff coming from the ABCC, which is kind of weird. They're sending off paperwork to us that just doesn't look right. Are you seeing that too? Are you seeing that as far?
Absolutely. I think they have, and I'm seeing a case where I have 3 different people within the ABCC talking to me about the same thing. And I'd send it off to one person, then someone else would come and say they never got it. I think it's because they're working from home, because I tried to send them a packet and it was 2 different PDFs and he requested that I print them, scan them all as one and then send them in. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, right now, if Ricksnet doesn't know what it was and he didn't do a seasonal license, then, you know, we just got to stick with Rick on his 1 days because if things change and restrictions loosen up with COVID, obviously he's got to come to us for his 1 day licenses. So we'll keep it at right now at the extent his deck is an extension of his premises because they had to go through that whole approval with the ABCC on that. All right, does anybody have any questions as far as the Gardner Ale House? Comments, concerns?
No,
Okay. Next is the Foster's, the change of address. So that's Sean Foster. So that's the Tiffany Liquors. And Carrie and Rick, we talked about this too. This is another thing with the ABCC where his license renewal came back where his address for the business was on West Broadway Street. We all know he's not at West Broadway. We know he's in Tiffany Plaza. But I believe he owns that building or owns that property. And Nancy, his intentions were, I remember we went through this several times, that he was to knock that building down and build a facility there. So I don't see Sean, I don't see Sean actually putting a physical address for his business in his license renewal for West Broadway. So we need to get any feedback from Sean on that, guys. Did he respond to you?
Yeah, I talked to him. Carrie and I both had emailed him. Carrie, your audio wasn't working, and sent the request that the ABCC had sent for some information regarding that. And then I looked back a couple of years that I could find, and in the past, since 2019, the renewal form had the West Broadway address crossed off with Tiffany, and it's never been questioned up until now, which makes me think that they have a lot of time in their hands and they're just looking at this stuff going, or too many people are looking at it. But they requested some confirmation information from the owner. So I forwarded that email. I believe it was from Sean. Was it not Sean? Yeah, Sean Walsh from the ABCC, Carrie, that sent that one? Or was it Suhail? Your audio's out, but either way, it was requested, it was forwarded to Sean, and he was supposed to get back with me and Ford just to see where it stood. I don't think it's definitely not on our end. I think it's miscommunication with the ABCC.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because we just want to make sure that the record locally for his license shows that he's at the Timpani Plaza, not
And it
on
does.
West Broadway, especially if there's like, we talked about this before, if there's an emergency or something like that and they need to get in touch with or find the location. Most people know where his place is, but if we have somebody who is new or green and they, say on the fire department, they got to respond to a call. They're not going to West Broadway and say, well, there's no package store here. So what do we do? So let's just circle back around on that. Make sure that Sean gets his paperwork straightened out. If he's got a communication piece from the ABCC that came back to him stating that his paperwork's good, or he has to renew it, or just change that line, you know what I'm saying? Change the line, make sure nothing's crossed out. Make sure we have a copy of it and go from there. So,
If they need any kind of, I don't think they will, but if they need any kind of LLA certification, we'll certainly email you all and get an agreement from the three and send it off if need be.
okay, yeah, that works. That works. Yeah, just keep us posted on that. And it looks like the final thing we have is just ABCC requirements. Was there a new notification that went out by the ABCC?
There was something, I haven't got a chance to look at it. It was an email from them regarding the new COVID requirements. I think it was just talking about bar and restaurant things. With that, when we put that in there, we were talking about whether the extension of premise that was granted last year for outdoor dining,
Oh, outdoor dining, okay.
it was set to expire, well, outdoor dining with alcohol service, it was set to expire in November of last year, but that got put off, and last I knew, it was till the end of the pandemic. So I was wondering, or we were wondering, do they have to reapply for another extension of premise, or is it going to be a continuation of the first because of the pandemic?
Yeah, Nick, have you heard anything about that on the police department side on those?
Nope, I haven't heard anything on that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because officially the pandemic hasn't ended, so I don't know if they'll extend that outdoor space, offerings to the businesses.
Yeah, again, I did hear in Boston at the North End, they've extended that again this year.
Yeah, they have, exactly. Yeah, so they're doing what they did last summer, well, actually last fall. So I don't know if that's the Boston thing or if that's that was a statewide approval. If it's a statewide approval, they're gonna have to offer it to everybody. They can't.
Yeah, I can check with the mayor and also just check with the ABCC if they could, because we didn't even file anything with them. We just let them know, correct?
They
That's
just let them. They had to let us know they were doing it, and then we just allowed them to do, or they just did it.
All right, I'll check with Mayor Nicholson and we'll figure that out.
Yeah, because they still have the social distancing in place, so that's limiting their capacity. So I'm guessing some of these businesses are going to want to still do the outdoors when the weather gets better. So, all right. Any new business you guys want to talk about? I think that's it. We don't have anything to make a motion or vote on.
No, I'm all set.
Well, Kerry, hey, welcome aboard for your first first meeting. If you have any questions, feel free, reach out to any of us, okay? But if nobody has any new business, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Adjourn.
Okay.
All right, everybody.
Good night,
have a good
everyone.
day.
Thank you.